Hey guys, it's Phoenix. A while ago, a follower on Twitter, Muki Tanuki, told me about this little trick with item frames that you can now do with the new facing abilities in Minecraft. Now, this is a very surreal looking trick. This is probably one of the coolest things that you might see in Minecraft as well, depending on your expertise. So, I'm going to place 3 item frames here in front of me. Doesn't matter the orientation. I've got a barrier here just to show the effect as well as I can. And in this command block, you can type this in, so execute as, at their position, and the item frames are going to teleport and face your eyes. So this is the new syntax for O2A. This is the same thing really, you're just going to get the item frames to look at you. Now this is unusual because item frames are very unusual. You can't have them be separated from their block for too long, otherwise they get deleted. With this in mind, the item frames don't actually change their position. Think about it, the facing syntax here only changes the way they rotate, not their position. So this is going to work, as you can see. Now, the item frames are still attached to their block, only that they're not visually. So I can right click here and I can place this ender pearl inside this item frame without any trouble. I'm just right clicking on the block behind them. And they will look at you. They don't have to look at your eyes, you can change this to feet, it doesn't matter. But they will keep looking at you and they spin around as well. Quite funnily as well, if you can see this. This is a really cool effect, by the way. One of the coolest things I've seen in this game, especially with how simple this is. So they're gonna keep looking at you until you turn this off. And even if you do that, they will stay rotated. And I have this really nice effect here as well. You have a bunch of item frames on the floor. This is something that you can do now. You can place them on ceilings and floors, creating really nice 3D globes. That's one of the first things that the community thought of. And with this effect, I can flip all of these cards upside down. This is really cool. And the effect is a lot better if you're staring from as high up as possible with this bird's eye view. And if you just fly across, you'll reveal the image. Very cool map making ability. And with this as well, obviously a lot of maps don't tend to use item frames as much as they do anymore because of how laggy they are. But you can retexture these item frames to be invisible, and you can just have items rotate and not the item frame itself. So this is very nice, and something that you guys can do. Another thing you can do is, with this orientation, have the same effect, but it's almost like it's bulging out and rotating and flipping around you almost. If you actually are inside, you have somebody inside, these item frames look like they're revolving around you and circulating in that manner. So what I've just done here is I've created a nice bell here, or a bowl, and these item frames will look at you, and as you fly across, they look like they're rotating the other way, so horizontally. So another cool effect, it's almost like it's a wave. So if you have a larger little bowl here, I didn't build a lot here, but I just wanted to illustrate what we can do. But if you have a larger one, I think it would even look cooler. So let's turn that off. I have another setup of a wall of armor stands with, not armor stands, item frames. I always use armor stands. I have a wall of item frames just going to be set up here. So let's kill them, set this up, activate them, and turn them on. Now this is very laggy because how many item frames do I have? 2,270 items. So a lot, essentially. But if I look across, you can see that they turn into eyes as soon as I get close to them. And as I fly up, it almost looks like they're just staring at me no matter where I go. So they turn on. Now you can hear my computer raging. It doesn't like what I'm doing here. But this is a very nice effect. It doesn't matter how stressful it can be, but this will illustrate exactly what you can do now with item frames. I hope this is not a glitch, because it almost seems like the item frames are not attached to the wall anymore and they're glitching through the command blocks. Otherwise, because they are still adjacent, they're still connected to the block behind them, this will still work, and it should work in theory. So this is a really good, astute discovery by Muki on Twitter. But otherwise, just something that you can do. You can do a lot of things with this. Even if you just retexture the item frame itself, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of things you can do with this. So I am going to turn this off because it is lagging like mad. I probably should not have created that many item frames. Let's turn that off. Let's turn that off. And yeah, so even if you turn it off, they will still remain in their their current rotation. So I don't know whether this is probably the best idea here, just having them stare at you and then just turn them off. But they will not despawn because they are still, I guess the server still thinks they are connected to this grass block, but they're actually not visually. So it's just a few tricks that I wanted to share with you. Of course, this is a discovery by my Twitter follower, not me. I did not discover this at all. As soon as I saw facing, I did not think of item frames. I did not think they would even have it in them to rotate in that way. So big thank you to Muki Tanuki on Twitter. If you guys have any other suggestions or discoveries that you'd like to share with me, tweet them at me, or you can send me an email or drop them in the comments. Otherwise, thank you all for watching. Leave a like, subscribe for more creative content. Take care.